time is now. Join Logos Laura Tri Ministries in prayer and intercession for our nation, the Caribbean, kingdoms, women, children, and our neighbors. 2 Chronicles 7:14-15. If my people, which are called by my name, shall humble themselves and pray, and seek my face, and turn from their wicked ways, then will I hear from heaven, and will forgive their sin, and will heal their land. Now mine eyes shall be open, and my ears attend unto prayer that is made in this place. The awakening is here. The time is now.
Then said the Lord unto me, though Moses and Samuel stood before me, yet my mind could not be towards this people. Cast them out of my sight, and let them go forth. And it shall come to pass, if they said unto thee, whither shall we go forth? Then thus shalt tell them, thus said the Lord, such are for to death, and such are for the sword, to the sword, and such are for the famine, to the famine, and such are for the captivity, to the captivity. And I will appoint over them 4 kinds, said the Lord, the sword to slay, and the dogs to tear, and the fowls of heaven, and the beasts of the earth to devour and destroy.
And I will cause them to remove into all kingdoms of the earth, because of Manasseh the son of Hezekiah, king of Judah, for that which he did in Jerusalem. For who shall have pity upon thee, O Jerusalem? Or who shall bemoan thee? Or who shall go aside to ask how thou doest? Thou hast forsaken me, said the Lord. Thou art gone backward, therefore will I stretch out my hand against thee, and destroy thee. I am weary of repenting. And I will fan them with a fan in the gates of the land. I will bereave them of the children. I will destroy my people, since they return not from their ways.
Their widows are increased. To me above the sand of the seas, I have brought upon them against the mother of the young man, a spoiler at noonday. I have cursed him to fall upon it, suddenly, and terrors upon the city. She that had borne 7 languisheth, she had given up the ghost. Her son is gone down while it was yet day. She had been ashamed and confounded, and the residue of them will I deliver to the sword because of their enemies, saith the Lord. Woe is me, my mother, that thou hast borne me a man of strife and a man of contention. To the whole earth I have neither let an usury, nor men have lent to me unusury, yet every one of them doth curse me. The Lord said, verily it shall be well with thy raiment. Verily I will cause the enemy to entreat thee well in the time of evil and in the time of affliction.
Shall iron break the northern iron with steel? Thine substance and thy treasures will I give to the spoil without price, and that for all thy sins, even in thy borders. and I will make thee to pass with thine enemies into the land which thou knowest not. For the fire is kindled in my anger, which shall burn upon you. O Lord, thou knowest, remember me, and visit me, and revenge me of my persecutors. Take me not away in thy long suffering. Know that for thy sake I have suffered rebuke.
Thy words were found, and I did eat them, and thy words was unto me the joy and rejoicing of mine heart. For I am called by thy name, O Lord God of hosts. I sat not in the assembly of the mockers, nor rejoiced. I sat alone because of thine hand. For thou hast filled me with indignation. Why is my pain perpetual and my wound incurable, which refresheth to be healed, which refuseth to be healed, friend? Wilt thou be altogether unto me as a liar, as water that fail? Thou sayest, the Lord, if thou return, then I will bring thee again. And thou shalt stand before me, if thou take forth the precious from the veil. Thou shalt be as my mouth, let them return unto thee, but return not thou unto them.
And I will make thee unto this people a fenced brazen wall, and they shall fight against thee, but they shall not prevail against thee. For I am with thee to save thee and deliver thee, said the Lord. And I will deliver thee out of the hands of the wicked, and I will redeem thee out of the hands of the terrible. Good morning. As we continue to share on the scripture that God has given to deliver to this nation, Jeremiah chapter 15. Then said the Lord unto me, though Moses was the leader that God called for carry the children of Israel, to take them out of bondage, to take them to the promised land. Moses is the young man that interceded for the children of God, that received the commandment for the children of God, that walked in the presence because God was directing. Moses was the one that interceded many times and stand in the gap for the children of Israel. If you don't know, Moses was a prophet that God raised up. God raised up a man to deliver his children out of bondage, that they could be free, that they could live, that they could get the best of the land and be high priests in the earth, that they could be a leader to set a perfect example that the other nation have to follow. Moses was the one that God has used to perform so much of miracle that tell Pharaoh, let my people go. And Samuel, God raised up Samuel from a child, teach Samuel the priesthood, teach Samuel to be a judge for the children of Israel. We teach Samuel to take over from Eli. Teach Samuel to speak and to declare and to raise up the nation in righteousness. He also caused the children to walk in holiness. So Samuel and Moses and hear what the Lord is saying to Jeremiah. He said, though Moses and Samuel stood before me today, I do not want no dealings with these people. He said, listen to me, stood before me, yet my mind could not be towards these people. Cast them out of my sight and let them go forth. Because God is so sick and tired that he was with the children of Israel, talking to them over and over and over. and doing so much of things for them. And yet still, they're giving God so much of problem. There's anyone today that God is using people to talk to you, using prophet, using priest, using judge, using teacher, using pastor, talking to you over and over and over, and seems like you're not getting it. So you are repeating the same thing, just like the kingdom of Israel, where God is speaking, but you're not getting it. And God is saying, listen to me, cast these people away from my eyesight. I do not want to see them, let them go forth. But when God rejected and turned his back upon his own people, you want to know God that is so merciful, that is so righteous, that is so holy. It's saying, listen to me, let these people come out from my eyesight because I'm tired of them. What was they doing that made God so tired? What are you doing that made God so upset with you? What are you doing that God is so angry with you up to this day? You need to stop and pause. What are you saying that God is angry with you, that God don't want to see you? What are you interfering that God said, listen to me, I don't want you in my eyesight? What is it that we are doing in this nation that God is keeps telling his word over and over? That God is calling back this nation, but yet still we operate like God is not talking to us. And we are saying that God is a Trinidadian. But then if God is our Father, why are we not listening to him? We have to listen to our Father, that we could be good children in the earth. And God is saying, listen to me, even Samuel and Moses stood before me, let these people move out from my eyesight. Because why? They have been corrupted. And corrupted by who? Who is leading your life today? Leading your life. Who is the person or the organization or the contribution of those in authority or anyone that sits in authority to make a decision? Who are these people that is leading your life that God did not appoint it? And God is saying, and it shall come to pass, if they said unto you, if they turn and tell you, Jeremiah, where shall we go? Because when God cast them out, they did not ask the question, Lord, what shall we do, that you don't have to cast us out. He said, when I asked, where shall we go? That shows clearly that they already make up their mind not to serve God. They already make up their mind not to follow God. They already make up their mind to do what they want to do in the earth that God has given to them, which is God earth. They already make up their mind for, say, listen to me, I'm going to worship idols. I'm going to worship things that is not God. I'm going to turn and worship evil. And God does not want his children to worship in evil. God does not want his children to do that. Listen to me. And they asked, where shall we go? And the Lord said, whither shall he go forth? Then thou shalt say unto them, you talk to them, Jeremiah, you talk to them, because like they are not hearing what I'm saying. And he said, and then the Lord said, such are for to death, and such are for the sword, to the sword, and such are to the famine, and such are for the captivity, to the captivity. God do not want to destroy his people. But God is so tired with the sin and the darkness what men are doing in the face of this earth. And God said, those are to death, are to death. You ask yourself, can God kill people? Yes. The earth is the Lord and the fullness thereof. And God has created this earth that man could enjoy and reap the benefit and the blessing that he has placed upon the face of this earth. God has raised up man that they could live in harmony, to live in righteousness and holiness, that Satan do not have to control the thoughts and the minds of men. God raised up men that they could be high priests in this nation, that the enemy and Satan do not have to devour our people. God placed man upon the face of this earth to take dominion over everything and even the atmosphere. So when God said those are to death, those are to the sword, those are for the dog, to the dog, those are for the captivity, And we ask ourselves why God wants to drive out his people from his face. Because of the evil. God said, listen, you have fallen a man, that is Manasseh, that corrupt the children of Judah and spread evil in Jerusalem. And we ask ourselves many questions over and over. Can one person corrupt a whole nation? Can one person destroy an entire family? Can one person destroy the human race? Yes, God is saying because of the evil and the influence that this person have, they could do that. They could do that. And God said, listen to me, those who have to go to captivity, you just go to captivity. They never stopped one time and said, God, forgive us. They never said, listen to me, God is tired of us. Let us turn our ways and don't continue like this. They was happy to walk out of the presence of God. They was very happy to ask, where shall we go? So you could continue doing the thing that you're doing all the time. You want new ground and new territory to do the evil so you could spread more. And God is saying, listen to me, Jeremiah, tell them, and I will appoint over them. Listen to me, when you go, I'm going to appoint over you. You want to know what is it? When you walk out from the presence of God, just remember that you are still on the earth. And God is the ruler. God said, I will appoint over them 4 kinds. We cannot even take 1 kind. I'm going to appoint over them 4 kinds, said the Lord. The sword to slay. God's going to raise up some people that are going to slaughter you from one side to the next. You want to walk out from the presence of God? You want to walk away from God? You want to turn your back upon God and still living on God's earth and still eating God food and still drinking God water and still want to walk with God's strength and still want to speak with God's voice and use up and move up your tongue with God's tongue and even open your eye with God's eye that you want to see and even using God's ears? This is what the Lord said. I will appoint 4 kinds over you. That is still going on today. He said the Lord God, the sword to slay and the dogs to tail. The sword is those that God has set up in this nation that will carry out the judgment of God, that will execute the judgment of God in righteousness. You ever see God raise up a force that will deal with crime, deal with corruption, deal with force squad and all these things? You ever see God raise up people that when they've been raised up, they just destroy the kingdom of darkness that is going on like a pestilence in the nation? God has raised up people just like how God raised up the king in his time, and God raised up kings after to carry out judgment upon the earth. And God is saying 4 kinds are going to raise up: the sword to slay and the dogs to tail. You ever meet people that they want to rip out your throat? They want to tear you apart. They want to make sure that they eat up your flesh. They want to make sure that they devour you. You ever reach people that when they open their mouth to share viper coming out, that you wish that you never bunks up with them? You ever meet people that when they talk to you, that when they finish with you, you get sick? That you don't know what happened? They are dogs. They are dogs. They are dogs to bring you back to God. God's not going to raise up dogs to tear you apart, that want to devour you. Because why? When God asked the question and said, I don't want you in my eyesight, you never said, God, I repented and I'm going to turn from my evil. But he said, where shall we go? That we could continue doing the same thing. And God said, listen to me, the dog's going to tail and the fowls of the heaven. The fowls of the heaven are the vapor. And those that God put, oh God, in the high authority places to deal with man. Because why? Even them going to pluck out your eye and devour your flesh, and also the beasts of the earth to devour you. That when they pass through, these folk, and when they pass through, there's nothing remaining for sure evidence that you was here. Do you want that to happen to your life? Do you want to live like that? Do you want to walk in the darkness of man because of one man? Because of one person not telling you the right thing to do? Because of one person who teaching you to do wickedness? Because of one person that is blind in your eyesight? Do you want to live a life where God have to destroy you because of one person that you believe in? We live in a time where we follow stars, where we call icon, where we call celebrities, where we call all kind of names, where our young generation just flocking after. Are they the children of God? Are they leading you in the right place? You put them in your heart. You put them in your soul. You bow and you worship them. And God said, do not worship no idol. And God said, do not bow to no idol. So why are you placing people in your heart where God's supposed to dwell and you worshiping them? God going to destroy you. And God said, who caused this? Someone have to cause this. It didn't just happen. Then said the Lord unto me, though Moses and Samuel stood before me, yet my mind could not be towards this people. Cast them out of my sight and let them go forth. Even to God get fed up of his own people. Even to God get fed up of his own children. We want to know why that this God that is so merciful. Because why? God is telling us to stop repeating the things of the past where Satan have dominance and preeminence over us. God is saying, listen to me. You are called my people. You ought to set the example of righteousness and holiness. You ought to walk in the path of truth. And God is saying, listen to me. Jeremiah, though these people stand up before me, even if Samuel and Moses stood before me, because why? Moses is the person that God has called to bring out the children of Israel. But God called Samuel to replace Eli as the judge over the children of Israel. And God and Samuel plead for the children of Israel from year to year to year. Sometimes it have people calling upon God for us. Sometimes it have people calling upon God day and night, where they sacrifice their life, even sacrifice their sleep, sometimes sacrifice their meal, calling upon God just for you to be saved. But you before turn your back and turn to evil. But remember that God number each and every one of us ways and our days also, that man cannot go beyond and do more than what God has cut off for him. But God is saying, listen to me, even Samuel come and beg for the children of Israel. And that is what we are seeing today. You want to know why evil is keep spreading? Because no one is cutting it. No one is putting a bud. No one is cutting off the growth of evil. Everyone just wants to indulge, to feel how it feel and to get the pleasure. But here what the Lord said, even if Samuel and Moses stood before me and begged, you know what Moses do? Moses begged for the children of Israel. Beg for the children of Israel. Intercede, plead, stand on behalf, even when God go for cast them out and wipe them off the nation. Moses begged for them and begged for them and begged for them. But you know what? God was telling Moses all the time that Moses, I created these human beings and I know the heart of men. You will beg and plead, but they will not turn. They will not turn, Moses. They will not turn. It takes the wrath of God to pour out for man to turn from evil. And God is saying, listen to me, even if Moses and Samuel stood before me, I will not turn my mind from these people. The children of God give God such a hard time. such a hard time, and God is the one after turn back and feed them, clothe them, give them health, build shelter for them, cover the nakedness, forgive them. God is still the one after turn back and heal them. And God continues to say, and it shall come to pass, that time come, and that time is still coming, when God going to say, listen to me, I fed up of you. People think that, listen to me, you have to get yourself into the ark of God. You have to get it right. You have to get to that place where you enter into the presence of God. You have to get to that place where you spend time all upon God all the time. You have to do that. That is your job, to call upon God for your provision. It is your job to call upon God for every single thing, because God has given it unto us. So we have to ask God where it is that we could go and find it. And the Lord said, listen to me, the time shall come to pass, if they said unto you, Jeremiah, where shall we go? Seeing that Lord cast us out of his sight, where shall we go? And here the Lord said, he shall said unto them, he shall go forth. Then thou shalt tell them, thus said the Lord, such are for the death. God could send you to your death. Because why? If you're not producing, do you know that you have to produce? We all have to produce in this nation. The Lord said, if we don't produce, God cut us off. God cut us off. We have to produce. Even to us, when we get a plant and it is not producing what we do, we cut it down and we burn it. And God said, those that I said unto death, listen to me, you go unto death. Those as such unto the sword, listen to me, the sword in our nation is the gun and the regiment and the police officer. Those that committing crime and doing all manner of evil, God said, those that unto the sword, and such after the famine to the famine, and such are for the captivity to the captivity. If you think the better thing for you is to be captured in the hands of the enemy, well, go. Because why? God is a God that is always desire to bless and to raise up his people, to feed them with the good that the earth has produced. Look out here in the sea and everything that God has provided for each and every one of us. We have to come to that place to know that without God it is impossible that we could make it to another day. God is the one that gives us this breath of life, that we are breathing, that we are walking, that we are living, that we could enjoy everything that He has placed upon the face of this earth, that man could eat, that man could live, that man could rejoice. We have to come to a place in our life and in our society that we are our brother's keeper. We are not here to devour and to destroy and to trap and to murder and to criticize and to kidnap and to dig out the hearts of men. We are here to set example that men could see that this world which we are living in, we ought to make a difference. We have to rise up every morning and give God the praise and the thanks, the honor and the glory that we have seen another day, that we did not get caught up with stroke or no cancer or no diabetes, or our bones is not crippled. We have to come to that place where we say, thank you, Father, that we could walk and we could have this breath of life that you have given unto us, because everything I've created and our God has created that man could enjoy it. But God said, listen to me, those are to the captivity, to the captivity. Those are to the famine, to the famine. Those are to death, to death. God is saying, listen to me, I am sick and tired of men's behavior, because I'm talking to them over and over and over and they are not repenting. And even Moses or Samuel stood before me. I do not want to see it. It is a privilege today that we are still alive. It's a privilege that we get a chance to be created. is a privilege that we see in this day. It is a privilege, and we have to count it a privilege. And continue to say, and he will cast them. Listen to me. Do you ever come to that place where you put your all into something and it turns back and wants to devour you? Do you ever come to that place? God says, and I will cause them to be renowned into all kingdom of the earth because of Manasseh, the son of Hezekiah, king of Judah. For he that which have done what he have done in Jerusalem, and God sent over and over to Trinidad and Tobago and all the nations of the world, do not follow a man. And God said every time, do not follow a man. And God said every time, do not let men deceive you. And after that, they cannot do nothing. And God make it over and over and over unto us that let us do not follow man. Because why? After that, there's nothing that man could do. And Manasseh, the son of Hezekiah, turned the children of God towards God to worship idols and to do evil things. We are saying every time, those that worship idols, if you do not turn away from your idols of wood, idols of clay, idols of stone, idols of mud, idols in your heart, idols in your thoughts, idols in the ground, if you don't turn away from that, do you know what idols do? Idols is bring jealousy in front of God. What you are saying that, listen to me, I'm going to pick and choose that which I'm going to serve today. I'm going to either serve idol or I'm going to either serve God. But God said, do not make no graven thing before him, nothing under the sun. Do not create nothing in the atmosphere, in the galaxy. Do not worship nothing. You are called to be the leader of the nation. You are called to be the leaders of tomorrow. You are called to be leaders. And God is saying, listen to me, Manasseh, you destroying the children of Israel and they are following you. Listen to me. Who you have in your life today that you are following? Who you have in your life today that is not serving God, that you is following them? Who you have in your thought that is your idol, whether it be a superstar, a celebrity, a government, anybody upon the face of this earth, who you have in your head and in your heart and in your spirit that you is worshiping. Because there's many people on the face of this earth where they call people their idols. Do you know what you are doing? You are putting a separation between yourself and God. You cannot do that for a human being that will drop down tomorrow. You cannot do that for a human being that God wants to take away the breath of him. You cannot do that to a human being that God has created equal upon the face of the earth where you lift up. God said, give honor where honor is due. Give respect where respect is due.
Logos is for all ages, training at different stages. It's no Sunday school, it's a training school where kids are cool. Bye!
Logos Laura New Merch Custom Collections. T-shirts $100. Keychains $40. WhatsApp or call 868-419-5344 for more info. You can subscribe to our YouTube channel, Logos Laura.
Ship ahoy! Here we come, Logos on the road with the word, coming to your location with public interaction. Logos Laura, my co-host, she is on the ready with the word. In support Logos Word News, visit our YouTube channel, Facebook and Instagram. We have a compact program for the heavenly throne. God shared his only begotten Son for us to receive deliverance. Ship ahoy!
Trinidad and Tobago. A beautiful paradise on planet Earth. From Moruga to Manzalina, Toco and Maracas. Don't forget Cedras and beautiful Pigeon Point, Scarborough and Roxborough. Beautiful sceneries, like a painting that is living the ambience of things that you are seeing. Little Trinidad is still a paradise. Yes, Trinidad is still nice because the focus is on the beautiful things and wonderful things. Little Trinidad is a wonderful destination for tourism. Yes, Kingdom Tourism is exploring your beautiful island. Do you know how many foreigners would like to live in a paradise? Yes, Little Trinidad is indeed a wonderful sight. Look at the views of the pictures that is seen. But the best part of Trinidad is our cuisine. Come and taste a little of what we have provided. This is the best place to relax and be a part of the wonderful Kingdom Tourism. Thank you for listening to Logos, my co-host, hosting on behalf of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost. Kingdom Tourism. Just come to Trinidad and Tobago. Spoken word. By the time they realize the tree they are partaking of is not mine for some, it will be too late for this generation of reprobate mind. Stop it. Stop it. Stop what? Stop the backbiting and name slandering. What is spoken word? Spoken word is the word expressed from a place of honor, blessings, and also a place of expressing oneself. Backbiting. Stop it. Stop what? Stop backbiting. What does it mean to backbite and to gossip? To gossip is to take a sip of corrupt things like speech against men, pretending that you are my friend. But as soon as I walk away, you have eminent things to say, like why she always dressed up as though she has a beauty store or something like that. Stop it. Stop what? Stop it. What do you mean by stop it? Stop the gossip and the backbiting and the slandering of my name. A name is rather to be chosen, meaning a good name, than anything else. Stop it. Stop what? The gossiping and the backbiting. Tell us what happened in the spirit realm when men bad talk other men. Logos, tell us. Tell us. Well, the Father said to me one day, Logos, if you know what men say behind your back, that releases sudden attack. You know, men say things that are not true as though they know you. But why, Father, why? Why men backbite and gossip against other men's life? Well, Logos, I'm glad you asked. Let me tell you why. The spirit world is real as you can see the physical realm. But everything happens first in the spiritual realm. So gossip is someone or a spirit in the form of a person with a knapsack on their back, running back and forth to bring bad report. So they run and listen to conversations and run back to hell. As they reach the hell, they run back again, for they think that they will miss something. What is gossip and backbiting? Gossip and backbiting is saying things about each other that will cause a bother. Many just hear a rumor and run away with it. But the damage it does to the person that is spoken of in a negative light cause many internal things. Gossip is something that is a sip of a cup from the pit of hell that cause men to get depressed by simple things someone is saying. Some things are better left unsaid, especially if it will cause someone to end up dead. Yes, dead I mean, dead I said. Some people not so strong to take things that they heard said of them. So you know what they do? They end up ending their life because of what other men said without thinking twice of them. But to the ones who are going through things that affect you by words of other men who do not care what happened in the end. I would encourage you to love yourself and ask God to deliver you from gossip and backbiting men. Some people, when they open their mouth, nothing good ever comes out. The reason behind that is simply this. There are demons that sit on people's tongue that love to gossip and burn down the tongue. Yes, your tongue could cause a fire and light up a whole place. Yes, the tongue could cause things to spread and you end up sometimes down and sad time and time again. The tongue of the wise will speak only when it's required of them. To interrupt this session just to tell me something of juicy gossip again is something that I call insane. If you realize the damages you do with your tongue, there are many people did not even get that job through application because you gossip and put them on social media and said many things that you don't even know about the person's behavior. But you form your thoughts and you run off with it and you cause men to buy into it. But let me tell you how to handle it. Because telling you the problem without the solution is acting just like a gossip solution. So, let me tell you how to handle gossiping and backbiting. Go to your Father in heaven and call the name and say, Father, you know that I didn't deserve the things that they are saying. So, Father, intervene on my behalf and stop the gossip that is spreading fast by rumors of men and pretenders with their own agendas seeking to attack the ones who they despise for whatever reason in their eyes. So the best way to start is to go into the book of Job chapter 40 from verse 10 and bring down the proud and the tongue of men that speak against the children of men. Also, take time to read Psalms 18, 19, 20, and 21. For only the word of God spoken can destroy all the eminent words of men formed by the tongue of the gossiper and the backbiter. Thank you for listening, and God bless you. The next time you hear someone bad talking another human being, you get up and say, "Excuse me, please, I will not be a part of this type of negative words spoken against another fellow human being." Thank you for listening to Logos Laura Spoken Words. From the throne of grace to the human race, Jesus speaks again. Thank you.